This is the second and final part of the Tuition Lab app tutorial. Let's go ahead and launch the paid version of Tuition Lab. The first thing that you'll notice is that the main screen is exactly the same as the one shown in the Tuition Lab free video, so we won't have to go over it again. However, there is one big difference between this and the free version of the app: the checkbook icon on the toolbar. Let's retrieve the costs for Harvard University again. As you can see, these are the same costs that were fetched in the Tuition Lab free video. Now let's select the checkbook icon from the toolbar. This takes us to the Finance 101 screen. You're now about to experience the true power of the Tuition Lab app. This screen gives you functionality found in financial calculators and spreadsheet programs such as Microsoft Excel. At the top of the screen, you can see that the 4-year cost for attending Harvard has been carried over from the first screen. Before continuing, it should be pointed out that funds for college can fall into 3 categories. 1. Financial aid, which consists of scholarships and/or grants. These funds don't usually have to be repaid by the student. 2. Family contribution. These are funds that the student and/or relatives provide to pay for the student's education. And 3. Student loans, which are loans provided by the government and/or private institution for education-related expenses. Educational costs not covered by financial aid and/or family contribution must usually be covered by student loans. Tuition Lab allows users to perform what-if analyses by changing the values of these 3 items to determine how much tuition a student can really afford. Please note that you can only directly change financial aid and family contribution amounts. Student loans are indirectly calculated by subtracting the other 2 items from the 4-year tuition cost. As with the first screen, the values in the yellow text boxes can be modified by the user. The other boxes cannot be altered. The 2 red text boxes are loan related. You can change the financial aid amount in 3 different ways. You can directly input a % financial aid value into the yellow text box. The % is multiplied by the 4-year attendance cost to calculate the financial aid amount. You can also use the slider to change the % financial aid value, which calculates the financial aid amount the same way as just described. Lastly, you can input the 4-year financial aid amount directly into the yellow text box. Let's put in $100,000. Next, we'll look at family contribution. Let's put $75,000 into the family contribution text box. Any amount in this box represents the total 2- or 4-year amount that the family can contribute towards the student's education. You'll notice that the value in the student loan text box changes correspondingly. This amount is very important because the student and/or parents will be responsible for repaying this loan. The loan cannot be discharged through bankruptcy and can greatly affect the borrower's future financial life. The values in the following 4 text boxes: loan amount, annual percentage rate, loan term, and periodic payments are the foundation of any type of loan-related financial analysis. As mentioned earlier, the amount of student loans is calculated indirectly by subtracting the financial aid and family contribution from the 4-year attendance cost. Annual percentage rate can be modified by the user. The lower the rate, the lower the loan payment. The higher the rate, the higher the loan payment. The loan term can also be changed by the user. The shorter the loan term, the higher the monthly payment. The longer the loan term, the lower the monthly payment. Now we'll go to the final app screen. By clicking the graduation cap, we're taken to the Real World 101 screen. This screen allows the user to model or simulate income and common after graduation expenses. Like the other screens, you can change any of the values in the yellow text boxes. Note that the default values are for demonstration purposes only and will most likely be very different for the majority of users. You'll have to do some research based on your career choice to determine just what your expected income will be. You can then input living expenses, which along with student loan amount carried over from the Finance 101 screen, will be subtracted from your expected income to determine how much money you'll have at the end of the month. A positive value, surplus, will have a green background, while a negative value, deficit, will have a red background. For example, if we change $5,000 to $4,000, we'll see that this box now is negative and has a red background. Once you're satisfied with your analysis, you can click on the diskette icon to save your data. Next time you search for this particular school, you'll be given the choice of selecting your saved info or the original school data. Although Tuition Labs focuses on 2- and 4-year not-for-profit colleges and universities, you can also use the paid version of this app to perform financial analyses on any school that is not listed in the database. Just type the word proxy into the yellow text box on screen 1 and the app will pull up a blank record. The user can then input the total of the annual tuition, fees, and room and board, if applicable, into the room and board text box. Let's put in $35,000. By doing this, the user will now be able to perform the Finance 101 and Real World 101 analyses. With the escalating cost of attending college, hopefully Tuition Lab and Tuition Lab Free can assist you in making a more sound financial decision with respect to your choice of schools.